All right, Akim, shalom, shalom. First and foremost, let's give all praises, glory, and honor to Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahushai, Ba'ashem Rakah Kodash. Double honors to the apostles and elders, great millstone, for teaching us his truth, citations to the sincere Akim, and Aquath that may listen. May the blessing of election be upon your house. My name is Brother Requai. I'm back in here with another quick Lord's will and edifying lesson, and today's lesson is titled A Determined Widow. And what briefly inspired this lesson, I was just having a quick conversation with one of my other brothers in the camp, and we were just talking about the times that we're living in, the way the economy is going. You see all these different migrants pouring into the U.S., the wars and rumors of wars, and the love of many shall wax cold. And you're just talking about a couple of different things, and it just reminded me of this quick parable I want to read. So what I'm going to do right now is jump into the parable, and as always, Yahweh Ratazah, Yahweh willing, that this lesson may be edifying, right? So let's start off with Luke the 18th chapter. So let's go there first. Okay, so I'm going to read it in NLT, and I want to jump right in, and Yahweh Ratazah, as always, is be edifying, right? So this is Luke chapter 18, verse 1, and it says in NLT, "And one day Yahushua told his disciples a story to show that they should always pray and never give up." Verse 2. So it says, there was a judge, Yahushua speaking, there was a judge in a certain city, and he said, who neither feared the Most High or cared about people. A widow of that city came to him repeatedly saying, "Give me justice in this dispute with my enemy." The judge ignored her for a while, but finally he said to himself, "I don't fear God or care about people, but this woman is driving me crazy. I'm going to see that she gets justice because she is wearing me out with her constant requests." So in the verse, let me see. Okay, so some keywords that stuck out, I thought. It said, "And there was a widow in the city, and she came unto him, saying, Avenge me of mine adversary." Right? And we're living in a very, very interesting times, because we have different adversaries. Whether it includes 2/3 of our people, as well as these other nations, and a lot of these adversaries, you can find them in Psalms 83. It actually goes through the different nations, starting with the tabernacles of Edom, right? And during these times, one of the things that Esau wants to do he wants to not only come down with great wrath, because he knows he has a short time pursuant to Revelation chapter 12. He also wants to prick the Most High's woman, right? And I mean that in a spiritual sense, not in a spiritual sense, excuse me. I mean that in a literal sense, right? A virtuous woman representing the elect, the 144,000, using that charagma that is found in Revelation chapter 13, verse 16, right? So that is his way of trying to put his name, his energy, his vibration into that spiritual woman representing the elect, right? And so those are just a list of the adversaries I just wanted to quickly touch on, right? And that is a physical mark, right? Let me just make that very clear, right? So it says, going back to, I want to read verse 5 again, and it says, "But the woman is driving me crazy. I'm going to see that she gets justice because she's wearing me out with her constant requests," right? And one of the things I was meditating on as well is the fact that we're in a situation where we have to constantly be seeking Yahweh Bashim Yahushai, because we want our sins to be blotted out, when the Most High brings his wrath, for us to remember mercy, right? And to avenge these elites, not the elites, excuse me, let me say that again. Avenge us, because these elites, they're pushing forth the unrighteous decrees, like I was referring to from Revelation 13 and 16, right? And coming down with that great wrath, essentially, whether they use different other unrighteous decrees to kind of to plague us and plague the people, right? Manufacturing famines and so on and so forth, different snares. The scriptures say that we wrestle not against flesh and blood, but against principalities, against powers and spiritual wickedness in high places. Excuse me, I'm just a little excited. And so hopefully, this is all adding up, right? So really the point of it is this woman here is so determined because she's constantly seeking after this judge and making sure that her request be made known, right? In Ezekiel chapter 9. As a matter of fact, let me get that one. I didn't have that on the list. Then I'll go to Sirach. Okay, this is Ezekiel 9 and 4, and it says, "And the Lord said unto him, Go through the midst of the city and through the midst of Jerusalem, and set a mark upon the foreheads of the men that sigh and cry for all the abominations thereof." Of all the abominations that be done in the midst thereof. And what's really important is the difference between the mark I was speaking about earlier, which is a physical mark, the charagma, and this is a mark of exemption, the thawa, right? So just noting the difference when you go into the words mark here and then the mark in Revelation 13 and 16, right? Right, and one of the main points I wanted to bring out from this particular precept is the sign and the crying. So we were in situations where we're under we'll be attacked on every side. Esau pushes forth his unrighteous decrees, right? And we're just in a situation where we need essentially we just need divine intervention, right? I made a point quick earlier. Okay, let me get Sirach 35. Okay, this is Sirach 35, verse 16, and it says, "He that serveth the Lord, Yahweh Bashem Yahushai, shall be accepted with favor, and his prayer shall reach unto the clouds. The prayer of the humble," and that's a key point as well, "pierceth the clouds, and till it come nigh, he will not be comforted, and will not depart till the Most High shall behold to judge righteously and execute judgment." And that's so important, and that also goes hand in hand with having how would you call that? What's that word called? That Jake always reparations. There we go. And that is part of true reparations, right? It's to see our enemies fall, and to see what happened to us happen to them. It says in Thessalonians that it is a righteous thing with Yahweh to recompense those that trouble you, right? And recompense meaning to pay back, right? Because when Jake marches through the streets, through these different social movements such as BLM and I think there's other ones like American Indian movements and something like that. I think, correct me if I'm wrong. With all these different movements, our people need to understand that you don't seek. That is not true justice. That is not true reparations, right? Your soul, is always going to be an imbalance unless the Lord actually, going back to the parable, avenges us, right? And puts us back on high, right? Verse 20. I'm just jump down to verse 20. It says, I'll start at verse 18. It says, "For the Lord Yahweh Bashem Yahushai will not be slack, neither will the mighty be patient toward them, till he have smitten in sunder the loins of the unmerciful and repaid vengeance to the heathen." And that's exactly what I was just referring to. "Till he had taken away the multitude of the proud, and broken the scepter of the unrighteous, till he had rendered to every man according to his deeds, to the works of every man according to their devices, till ye have judged the cause of his people and made them to rejoice in his mercy, right? And that's so important, because you will have a lot of our people as well. They will get their due reward. They will get their essentially their judgment, right? Because according to their deeds, right? Just like we will get our judgment according to our deeds, and Lord's will, that that is the Lord having mercy upon us and protecting us during times of Jacob's trouble, right? So we can be comforted, so we can be fed, and our families being covered over Lord's will, that the Lord has favor over them, right? One of the things, this is another thing I was just thinking about as well, the deeds part that really stuck out to me, because I believe when you go back in the time of Joshua, Rahab, her whole I believe it was her whole family, when you jump to the 6th chapter, her whole family was saved just by what she did for those men in that particular situation, right? So how much more us, right? Just to show the importance of the deeds. Scriptures say that charity covereth a multitude of sins, right? And we have a lot of sins to pay for, right? So okay, let me get I was actually looking up the word. Hold on. I was just looking up the word widow, actually, in the etymology. And it said, under here it said, no, that's not the one. Separate, divide, right? And I thought that was so interesting. A woman separated or deserted by her husband, right? And that's us as a nation, As a matter of fact, I don't know how to word it properly, but I'm just going to let the scriptures talk. Jeremiah 3. Okay, Jeremiah 3 verse 8, and it says, and I saw when for all the causes whereby backsliding Israel, committed adultery, and I had put her away and given her a bill of divorce, yet her treacherous sister Judah feared not, but went and played the harlot also, right? So both northern and southern kingdoms, us as a nation, we went and played the harlot, with many different lovers, meaning we began to worship and idolize these other gods, cling on to these other gods as if they were our husband, right? I'm just talking in a spirit, not in a, essentially I'm talking on a macro sense, right? The woman being Israel, and the Yahweh Bashim Al Shai being that the Most High being our husband, essentially, right? Because we are the Lord's chosen people, and we made a covenant with Yahweh Bashim Al Shai, right? So that's why I wanted to bring that out as well, because that was the key word that really stuck to me, right? So it was a very interesting situation that what we need in these times is our husband, Yahweh Bashim El Shai, to rise up and actually protect us during these times, right? And that's so important. Let me just get this last one. As a matter of fact, let me go to 2nd Ezra to kind of tie it all together. Just bear with me. Okay, 2nd Ezra 16 verse 49, and it says, like as a whore envieth a right and honest virtuous woman, so shall righteousness hate iniquity, when she decketh herself, and shall accuse her to her face, and when she cometh, that shall defend him that diligently searcheth out, every sin upon the earth, right? So you're just seeing, 2/3 of our people are likened unto whores because they sell themselves, and play the harlot with these other gods, Satan, Baal. When they're in Hollywood, they have to do humiliating things to get that access, and so on and so forth. And the elect are really likened unto these virgins when it says in Revelation 14, and they were not defiled with women, meaning other philosophies, right? And Paul also talks about this as well in Corinthians. I have jealous over you with godly jealousy, and to roughly paraphrase. And he also says that that I may present you as chaste virgins, to Yahushai, right? And that is really the point of really this lesson as well, is it's the Lord hopefully having mercy upon us, crying unto the Lord to come and help us, because the Lord put us away and gave us that bill of divorce, going back to Jeremiah chapter 3, right? So but the elect in these times, the hopeful elect will be putting on that righteousness, that crown, that ornament, starting with that fear, like it says in Sirach chapter 1, and they will be decking themselves out in the spirit, right? So anyways, Lord's will as always. I know I kind of jumped about all over the place, but hopefully this lesson may be was edifying. And I'd like to give all praises, glory, and honor to Yahweh Bashim Yahushai, Bashim Rakah Kadash. Level honors the apostles and elders of Great Millstone for teaching us truth. Till next time, I say Shalom.